My name is Chaplain Deborah Fontes. I'm the senior chaplain in Sacramento, California, and thank you for listening to Hey Chaplain podcast.
Welcome to Hey Chaplain. My name is Jared Altick, and I'm a chaplain with the police department. The Hey Chaplain podcast is about talking to police officers who say, "Hey Chaplain, I've got a story to tell and some hard-earned wisdom to share." From the LAPD to Scotland Yard, the guests on Hey Chaplain are sharing their wisdom and experience with you so that you don't have to learn everything the hard way. When a police officer listens to Hey Chaplain for the first time, I'd like them to be able to find the information about the show and see a lot of positive encouragement that this is worthwhile. So if you would go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any place you might listen to the show and leave a 5-star rating and a written review, that would help a ton. If you're on social media like Facebook or Instagram, if you would please like the show, follow the show, that would help out a lot. A recommendation from you would mean the world. Today we're coming back to our interview with identical twin first responders, Stuart and Steve Littlefield. Stuart is the 30-year cop on the SWAT team and also a homicide detective. Steve is a 30-year firefighter. Both worked at the same time in the same city, my home of Kansas City, Kansas. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of the dramatic, critical incidents that they were involved in and also answer the question of which service is healthier and which one is worse. Here are brothers Stuart and Steve Littlefield. Tell me about a time that you guys found yourselves on the same scene as a firefighter and as a cop. Tell me about being on the same scene.
So the biggest call we were ever on, and we had a few calls together, but nothing monumental, nothing as monumental as this. So this would have been in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a domestic call up off Quindaro Boulevard. And Quindaro Boulevard is the northeast corner of Kansas City, kind of a high crime area, and right around the corner from where Stevens Station was. So this was around Alice in Quindaro, which is near 7th Street. Steve's Station was off of like 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
Small neighborhood in the northeast part of Kansas City called Quindaro Homes. Very small, tight community, very small houses. And this was a specific cul-de-sac where a husband and wife lived in one house, and on the other side of the cul-de-sac, the wife's father lived.
Okay.
And so there was some pre-planning here, which I'll get into in a minute because it makes this story a lot deeper. But apparently, the husband and wife got involved into a domestic altercation. Her father came across the street and shot her husband.
And killed him?
And killed him, and then retreated back into his house. And officers arrived, and I don't know if it came out as a shooting, but when they knocked on the door, the guy opened fire, and from what I saw, he shot above the police officer. I think he could have killed him. I don't think he wanted to kill a cop.
The wife's father is shooting at the police.
At the police.
Is fire on scene yet?
No, so this has all happened. Fire probably came in 10 minutes later, maybe.
Okay. And you are doing what job and where are you at?
So I was on the SWAT team. Okay. I'm at home doing Sunday stuff. My pager goes off. And I remember it was in the wintertime, but it was in the 50s out, really nice out. And so we respond to the scene and we surround the house. It started out at, like I said, 50 degrees. By late afternoon, it was down to 19 degrees. And we were cold and it was miserable. So this guy is in the house. At one point, they thought he might have killed himself.
Right.
We're not really sure. They sent a dog in. The dog didn't alert. Dog came back out. So they had us make entry. And, these houses are only 10, 15 feet apart, maybe even closer.
Yeah.
And
little tiny houses all close together.
Yes. And like 2-bedroom little house. And so we formed an entry team and we came into the house, and one team took the living room and my partner and I took the kitchen, and then there was a hallway went into the back, and I heard somebody say something. And we don't talk in an entry, slow and deliver. There's no talking at all. And so I was a little bit irritated that somebody was talking. And then I heard our team leader at the hallway say, "What did you say?" And a voice from the back said, if you come back here, I'm going to kill you. So 8 cops went in, 8 cops came out. And we gave, it's not really maybe a good idea to get up that ground, but there's nothing there that'll stop a bullet.
Yeah.
And so we backed out, and then we had a full-blown standoff,
Okay.
which lasted late into the afternoon.
When did fire show up?
I was working for somebody that day. The captain that was on the rig that day needed off by noon. So I didn't show up until noon. So he was only down there for about 2 hours.
Right.
Fire got there probably 20, 30 minutes after the call came out for a shooting.
Okay. And are you on standby for medical?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And we're probably 2 blocks down the road.
Okay.
But we had a line of sight. We could see what's going on.
Sounds like the place where a cop would make a sarcastic joke about you guys staging 2 blocks away, but I won't say anything.
That's what usually happens.
Right.
So at noon, I come in to relieve the captain I was working for, and he took my truck back to the fire station, and then I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. And it, like I said, it was long and drawn out, and all we did is sit in the fire truck for 10 hours.
How aware are you if you see some indication or hear radio traffic that indicates that the SWAT team is on scene? How aware are you that your brother's up there, maybe in that house or near that house or about to go in that house?
Very aware then, because he hadn't been on that long then, probably 4 or 5 years, maybe, if that.
Probably 5.
So I knew the score. I knew they were on scene, but I didn't know where they were at or what they were doing. We were communicating. There was a command staff officer coming back and giving us updates of what's going on every now and then, every half an hour. But we're 100 yards down the road.
Okay.
We kind of see what's going on. But
how aware are you? Are you hearing things like radio traffic mentioning Pumper 5 or anything like that?
I never had a clue. Our radios we have a common channel.
You're just listening to your...
Never occurred to me. And we were pretty busy.
Yeah.
And there was so now we've got a guy in the house armed. He's already killed one person, shot at the police. And he's not going anywhere. We have a barricade. Time's on our side. We did not have a robot at the time, but bomb robots were just coming onto the scene.
Uh-huh.
So our chief, and God love him, he called up Kansas City, Missouri, and wanted their robot. Robots are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they made an agreement that we'll give you the robot. You can use it after the scene's done to do surveillance. So they brought the robot, and the chief sent it straight to the house.
This is not a bulletproof robot.
No.
This is a very expensive robot.
But
that belongs to Kansas City, Missouri.
But in his opinion, we'll buy you a new robot. I don't want to lose a cop.
Yeah.
So we didn't get much out of the robot. Long story short, this is drawing out hours, and we're getting colder by the minute. We started evacuating houses around there as a safety precaution.
And this is going into the evening.
Correct. And one lady, God bless her, she said, "I left a pot of coffee on for you guys, and there's cookies on my table." And we drank coffee and ate cookies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So they finally get to the point. We introduce gas to the house. I think he had a gas mask. We looked at it later. I don't recall.
he did. He had a gas mask. He was a Vietnam vet.
Okay.
And so gas didn't work. So the next step is to introduce smoke. And if you understand how smoke works, so that you would throw the canister in, and as the canister burns and the smoke begins to fill the house, it pushes the oxygen out. And so you have a choice. You can come out or you can stay in and suffocate. So we introduced smoke into the house from the back to the front. It was my partner and I. He is throwing the canister through the window, and I'm providing lethal cover.
Yeah.
And so we kind of made a clockwise move around the house. And when we got to the very front window, anytime you threw smoke in, the canister would begin to burn. You'd see the curtains catch fire and glow. And then pretty soon the smoke would push out the oxygen and the fire would die. Mm-hmm. So we got all the way back around to the front of the house, and he put a canister through the window, and the curtains began to burn like they always did. And then I don't know what was there, but something exploded. Boom. And the front door slammed shut and then slammed back open. And that fed oxygen into the house, and that house went up like a Roman candle.
If only we had a firefighter here to explain that to us. Steve?
So we're sitting down the block, and of course, the commander that had been talking to us, letting us know what's going on. Hey, we're getting ready to do this. We know there's probably going to be a fire pretty quick. You guys be ready to come in. So we saw this happen, and the fire started growing, and it blew the front window out.
And what time? So it's dark.
It's getting dark, yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the fire's rolling. It's building. And he comes up. He goes, "What do you think?" And I'm like, I said, "Well, I'll tell you what." I said, he'd have to be Superman to still be alive inside there. There's no way that guy's still alive inside the house. He goes, "Are you sure?" I said, 99%. He says, "We need to know for sure, because you're not going in unless you think for sure he's dead."
Okay. Stuart?
Well, and I heard on the radio, once again, God bless our chief, he's talking to our sergeant on the SWAT channel, and he says, "Is it survivable?" Our sergeant said, "It's hard to tell right now." And the chief said, "Let me know when it's not survivable," because he was not going to send a fireman in there to get killed by a man with a gun.
Yeah.
Now, I was so cold. It was cold out that I had been around the corner, kind of behind a tree, great big oak tree, pretty good cover. I stepped around that tree to get close to the house to warm up because I didn't even think about getting shot. I was freezing.
Yeah.
And so moments later, the house was fully involved, and then they rolled up.
And then also too, so we're there for a standby for a shooting.
Yeah.
For like a medical call.
For hours.
For hours. Well, so when the house catches fire, I called it in, "Hey, we have a working structure fire." And being that it's close proximity to other houses, we have what they call a general alarm, which is an upgrade to a regular house fire.
Okay.
So at that time, we got 3 more pumpers and an aerial truck to come in.
Okay.
To, just so we have resources, whatever we need. And the crazy thing is that at that time, one of our cousins had just gotten on the fire department with me.
You got the whole Littlefield clan working the scene.
So our cousin, Mike Sapika, is working on 14 Struck, and 14 Struck showed up. So then when we made entry in to put the fire out, he's with me, and we went in, and that's when we found the shooter.
Okay.
He was deceased in the hallway, and he had turned his linen closet into like an ammo depot.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he had tons of rounds of ammunition in there. And so he is laying deceased on the floor.
Ammunition that has already caused the fire to increase?
No, not
okay,
at all.
Okay, so, but that's a danger. You're in a fully involved structure fire with ammunition in one of the rooms.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to do anything but pop because it's not contained.
Okay.
And it's not like a bomb, but he had black powder and stuff there too, though. So yeah, there was a danger in there.
Very cavalier about flammable things.
Yeah. It's just the fire experience. So once we get in there and find him, he's laying on his back on the floor, and he had a gas mask on, but it was off. But he had an M1 Garand rifle on his chest, like he was getting ready to kill himself.
Really?
And it was up under his jaw, and then his little dog was laying next to him.
Wow. And he succumbed before he took his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Smoke got him.
The funniest part was these guys didn't know what we had done. And so the fire's out, it's still smoldering, and they all took their masks off and got a big wave of all that tear gas we put in.
No.
And they were cussing us.
We come, like a rocket right outside.
Smoke is no big deal to you guys.
With smoke,
tear
we'll
gas.
suck a dick.
That's an element you don't normally have.
But it gets better, because I told you this story got deeper.
Yeah.
So he had an outbuilding, like a little detached shed for his lawnmower. There was a dead prostitute in there. So he had planned this. His plan was...
Welcome to Kansas City.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
It's just another day for us.
It's a normal Sunday afternoon.
So his plan was he was going to kill his son-in-law. He was going to bring the prostitute over to their house, burn it down. He was going to identify his daughter,
right,
the body and the son, and then apparently he and his daughter planned on escaping somewhere with maybe some insurance money.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, what went south on that, but she obviously changed plans at the last minute. So it was kind of a really weird twist when we're looking at back. And after we introduced gas, we opened up that back shed, and there's a body of another woman there.
Wow.
So it ended up being a crazy, crazy call out. But at the end, since the three of us I'm decked out in my tack gear, and they're in their firefighter gear. So we took a really cool picture in that house. And it's one of the things that I treasure most.
And the crazy thing with that story, nowadays there's news everywhere. Of course, everybody has a camera. Yeah. Back then, in the mid to late 90s, I'm not even sure it made the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if people would have known that, it was a crazy call.
Yeah. So when did you retire?
I left in October of 22.
Okay. So you both worked from the 90s up through the 2000s and the 2010s. Which service was healthier for the average firefighter, the average police officer? Who had a healthier environment, like emotionally, psychologically, to work in?
I think nationwide, I think firefighters do. Why
do you say that?
Well, the pace is slower. You know, we get teased a lot. And I still do today. You know, firemen, hey, can we get help on this call? And they'll say, you know, all units are busy. And so imagine regularly every night in the summertime, every cop in the city is on a call.
Yeah.
Every cop. And that's regular. That happens from about 4 o'clock in the evening till well past midnight that they go call to call. I can't ever remember a time in the history of Kansas City where every single fire rig was on a call at the same time.
Okay.
And so, you know, they get better.
I'm not saying slower pace. I'm not saying the culture, though.
They live together. They work together. They eat together. I think they take care of each other better than cops do.
Do you think that, Steve?
Yeah, I know for a fact we talk about stuff because being like when we're on a call, we load it back on the rig and we go back to the fire station. We're together until our shift is over.
Yeah.
Unlike the police officers that get back in their car back when they were riding singles and you're just by yourself till the end of your shift, or you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we talk about stuff. It's just different.
And society treats firefighters better. I can't remember anybody ever protesting firefighters.
Not a lot of hate at firefighters typically.
No, and which fuels the jealousy between us. You know, they always tell me, you just stood in the wrong line. Little truth to that. But overall, I think the fire service is a much healthier line. You can do 32. I know firemen that have done over 40 years. You can't do 40 years as a cop.
Then, Steve, why are more firefighters not healthier? Because I go to firefighter peer support meetings, and there's a lot of unhealthiness. Why is there so much alcoholism and divorce and just not handling the stress as well as they might want to? Why are firefighters not healthier? You've got some advantages in the fire service. Why isn't it healthier?
I think, and it's getting better, but it's always been such a macho, not just fire department, police, and all of us. It's such a macho thing. Guys don't want to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And instead of talking with somebody about it or doing something to get rid of those bad thoughts, they drink, they fight, they just don't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that law enforcement was early to recognize the PTSD issues and early to recognize the mental health challenges and early to recognize the suicide rate. I think that I can't say me, but I think that our culture addressed that maybe 10 years ago, maybe even longer that we talked about it, where it's just now coming to the forefront of firefighters who are acknowledging that there is a lot of PTSD and, you know, secondary and tertiary PTSD. And I think that helps us a lot. I think that's why, you know, we were the first ones to really like push physical fitness, and they all have gyms in their firehouses, but not everybody uses them.
Firefighter culture maybe has a healthier culture because they're together and there's kind of a natural debriefing system because they all can sit down and eat a meal together. But police are downstream of all of the military research for post-traumatic stress and that kind of stuff. And so I feel like that's what you're saying about some of that research coming in and saying, hey, we need to address this. We've done studies. A lot of that is because police, I think, are more directly downstream from the military. That's my personal
You are absolutely right. And I didn't put that together, but you're right. Everything from the military that they're learning trickles down to us first.
Yeah.
So, and I hadn't put 2 and 2 together, but you are 100% right.
And I can tell you another call that I ran. This would have been, my gosh, getting old. Can't remember half the calls I ran. I ran so many. Just they were good calls, but then they were bad calls.
Yeah.
I ran a call one time. I was trading time working for another guy, and I was running out of 54th and Leavenworth Road, and we got a call for a kid hit by a school bus. So we get down there. to the scene, and the school bus is sitting there at a stop sign, heading north, and was rolled back a little bit from the stop sign. And I'm acting captain again that day. Had me and a driver and a back-end guy with us with an ambulance. And we pulled up, and as we pulled up by the school bus, I'm kind of looking, hey, where's the kid? And then I just looked down off the corner in the grass by the school bus, and there's the kid on the ground. I'm like, oh, a few bad words. So we get out. I jumped out real quick and ran up there, and it was obvious she was deceased. She looked like somebody had taken a kid-sized rag doll and spun it and slapped it on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, just twisted, and I mean, it obvious she was not with us anymore. Windy day. So I'm trying to figure what I'm going to cover this kid up with, because we didn't really we had tarps and stuff, but I was trying to get something quick.
Yeah.
So we went back and grabbed a sheet off the cot off the ambulance and brought it up and had some rocks right there to cover up with, because we got a school bus
Full of kids.
Ugh. And the kids are all wanting to see what's going on, of course. And so then I sent another guy on the bus to move all the kids to the back of the bus. The driver was done with. I mean, we couldn't even get him out of his seat. It took us probably 35 minutes after we got the girl moved and more resources on the scene to get him out of his seat, get him out the back of the bus. Anyway, so this happens, and I know I need resources I don't have. There's no PD there, nothing. It's just a fire truck and an ambulance is the only ones there. So I got on the radio and called I need a PIO. I need command staff out here, contact PD. I'm going to need a spokesperson, contact the school district. And another crazy thing, everybody says Wyandotte County, but just by chance, my cousin is in charge of school buses for the school district at the time.
You guys are related to everybody.
Yeah. So we're working this call. Oh, and then I turn around as we get the girl covered up, and here come her sister and her mom running over the hill. So now I got to deal with that situation, try to calm them down. And they wanted to go up there. And I said, you can't go up there. It's not good. That memory is not what you want to have of her. Please sit in the back of the ambulance. So they did that for me.
No chaplain on scene?
Not yet. Okay. I'd called for him.
Okay.
But I mean, this is all happening within 5 minutes.
Sure.
And so PD started showing up. They had a chaplain with them, blocking off the road. So when we run the call and we get back to the fire station, our deputy shows up, one of our deputies shows up and says, hey, you guys are out of service. Cool. No big deal, And we're sitting there, and then a couple of crisis intervention people from the city showed up, wanted to talk to us. So we're talking to them. And they said, hey, we're sending you guys home. And I said, I'm not going home. She goes, well, you need to go home. You need to talk to somebody. I said, that's what we're doing here. She goes, well, you've just had a bad scene here. You need to go and debrief. And I go, ma'am, I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk or nothing, but I said, that's what we do here at the fire station.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I'm going to recommend that all you guys go home right now. I said, well, I hate to say it, but I'm not leaving. I've got a job to do here. It's going to be better for me. And so there was 5 of us.
You're not just being obstinate. It actually was healthier for you to stay and to stay with your crew.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what police almost never have that.
So we had 5 people at the station there that day stationed. So 2 of the younger guys went home. They had kids. I get it.
Sure.
They wanted to go home and see them. So, but the other 3 of us, we said, we want to stay. And she goes, well, I don't think you should stay. You need to go talk to somebody. I said, ma'am, if I leave here, I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to go home and I'm going to talk to somebody. And then I'm probably going to go to the bar and drink. Because I'm going to try to calm my nerves and debrief. Yeah. And she goes, well, I don't recommend that. I said, that's what's going to happen. That's why I want to stay here at the fire station. We've known each other. We work with each other. We can talk. We can talk this out. And by morning, we'll have this all hammered out, have it out of our minds, and be done.
Yeah. And then you'll go home at 7 in the morning.
Yes.
and not directly to a bar or
Yeah.
something. Yes. Okay.
So we stayed and took care of it.
I want to thank Steve and Stuart again for being here. And this is such a good example of having a story and then also having some wisdom to share. These twin brothers have about 65 years of combined experience as a cop and a firefighter. And as far as I know, neither one of them are working on a screenplay or preparing to write a book, although they could. But they were eager to come tell their stories, some of their painful stories, so that other first responders could hear and connect and maybe be healthier. Look, I'm at a stage where my email inbox is full of people trying to sell something on the Hey Chaplain podcast. I am not interested in 99% of those. What I would like to hear is your referral that you know, especially a police officer, but you know somebody in the first responder world who has a great story and has a bit of wisdom to share about it. Let me know who they are, and we'll see what we can make happen. Next time on Hey Chaplain. What do they mean by a 21-foot rule? And this gets brought up as if it's common knowledge.
Most people who use that phrase are laboring under the false belief that if a person with a knife or an object that can be used to inflict serious bodily injury or death is at or inside 21 feet, that you can automatically shoot them, that they're automatically a deadly threat. And so that if you can envision a radius or a distance around you that's this bright line standard of 21 feet, once your would-be opponent gets to that 21-foot space and then takes a step over that imaginary 21-foot line, he's bought and paid for.
Okay. Outside 21 feet, he's safe. Inside, he's a goner. All right.
20
okay.
feet, it's a no-go, right? 20 feet, it's weapons-free. You're like, no, that is not correct, first off.
Okay, so how did this come up in that trial?
Surprisingly, it was the prosecution that brought it up.
The views expressed here are the personal views of the host and our guests and do not necessarily represent the views of any law enforcement agency or its components. If you like this episode, please share it with a cop or someone who loves a cop. Thank you for listening to Hey Chaplain, and as always, let's pray for peace in our cities.